Today, I don't know if the lighting is good. We are outside. We have a new setup, a new comfortable setup. No, I'm doing too much. I think I'm doing too much. Maybe I should wear something covering. So today, as usual, we are going to make it short and sweet. I'm going to talk about my travels to South Africa. My travels to South Africa was so unplanned. I started the journey here in Isebania, Kenya. Isebania all the way to Mwanza to Arusha to Moshi to Dar es Salaam. We are going to do a little bit of calculations for those who have not seen my older videos. I talked about it, but I don't know if I talked about it that much. Here, I have some currencies also for the countries that I went to. I should be putting them really well so that they don't have to break or bend, because some of them are still new. I remember I used to if I get like a balance, I tell them, please give me a new one because I'm going to have it as a souvenir. Yeah, so I'm going to show you some of the currencies, but first of all, we are going to talk about these travels. So I started from Mwanza. Mwanza is just the city next to Lake Victoria. It's like Kisumu of Tanzania, the city of fish. It's very nice, very lovely, the hills and valleys. Then from Isebania, Kenya, Tarime to Mwanza costed me 12,000 Tanzanian shillings. That is 600 Kenyan shillings. Yeah, from Mwanza to Arusha, 31,000 Tanzanian shillings. But that one I was ripped off, of course, because you are a visitor here. It's supposed to be 28. I asked later on, or 26. Some people even paid less, 24. As a visitor in another country, you get ripped off. It's not only to white people, it's everybody, so long as they realize that you're not from the country. Then from Arusha to Moshi, I was charged another 12,000. It's not far. Arusha, if you hear Mount Kilimanjaro is just in Arusha, but in another part of Arusha that is called Moshi. And Moshi is where the Kilimanjaro is at. Yeah, so before arriving in Moshi, there's this place called Chemka Springs, hot springs. It's a very famous place in Tanzania. You go there and just, swim in this peaceful water. There's so many tourists going there. Then in Moshi, I went to Kilimanjaro. At this point, I still didn't think of even traveling far to Capetown. I was just, exploring what is around me. If I knew, I would have saved this exploring for later. Then I just went straight to Capetown. So my journey to Capetown was actually not planned at all. So from Moshi to Dar es Salaam costed me 50,000. That is a trusted bus, Kilimanjaro bus. You book at the office, so you're not being ripped off in any way. So that's the real price. I know if it was the other sides of the brokers and the stage areas, I could be charged more. And sometimes you cannot even know. And if you ask people around, how much do you think it is from this place to this place, they never tell you. Most of them only say, I don't know. Dar es Salaam, I arrived and there was some internet issues. That is the time I was in Dar es Salaam. If you heard about the cable broke in the ocean and there was no internet, I think, in East Africa for a period of 3 days. That was when I was in Dar es Salaam, and it was a little bit tough. I could not explore more because the money I had now was limited. I could not access internet to withdraw money, to move around. I don't think I explored a lot of Dar es Salaam. Then as a new traveler who just started traveling without asking so many questions, I just left and went. I was just like, let me just try and reach Dar es Salaam, then come back. At the border, when I was getting the stamp, the border officer kind of made it hard for me. I think I talked about it in the other video. Just tell them you're going to visit someone. The first time, just tell them you're going to visit someone. If you can get a number for the person and the name, it's even better, so it's easy. Or you're just going to see, Tanzania is a tourist town, just going to walk around and that. Or because they'll ask you what you're doing for work. Yeah, it's just like the questions I hear they ask those people who are going to Europe. Yeah, but simple questions that cannot be hard to respond to. East Africans should be able to move around East Africa easily. Tanzanians should come to Kenya easily, so long as they're not coming to do anything bad. Kenyans should do the same when they're going to Tanzania, so long as they're not going to be a problem there. So actually my main plan when I was starting my journey, was just to go and get the train. You see this old train that has been running. It's called Tazara. So I'm a documentary type of person. So I watched a lot of documentaries about this train. So when I went there, I was thinking about it, but I was still very scared about using it going to Zambia. So I was still very, very, very scared. But when I arrived in Dar es Salaam after 4 days of waiting for the internet, I went to check if the train was available so that I think when I was in Dar es Salaam is when the other energy came out of now let's go. No more fear. So I went to the train station, did what? Asked. I was told the train got an accident and it has not been repaired, but it will be repaired next week. So that is when I was like, can I go back to Kenya through Mombasa because it's very close, or I risk it to Zambia? Dar es Salaam to Lusaka should be around 100,000 or 120,000. That is, I think, around 6,000 Kenyan shillings. But I paid 150,000 Tanzanian shillings because there were brokers. You know, if you get a direct bus from Dar es Salaam to Lusaka, it's easy. This bus will just reach at the border. You go on a line, they stamp for you. But when you get a broker bus doesn't reach even the border. They give you from Dar es Salaam, I think, to Mbeya. Then from there, you take another tiny bus to the border. Then from that, they give you another bus on the other side in Zambia. I arrived, I think, at around 6 p.m. And this bus that they gave me was not going immediately because I expected to just no more waiting. I had to wait for another from 6 to 4 a.m. in the morning because the moment you arrive in Zambia, the time is now changing. It's going to be an hour different. Took a shower at the stage, this stage bathrooms. We slept at the bus. I was so tired. Actually was going to pay for a hotel, but I was told if you pay for a hotel, the chances of you missing this bus and you paid for it are very high. Just sleep in the bus. So I did sleep in the bus, and the next day we took off. Lusaka is far down there. It's not anywhere in the middle of Zambia. And Zambia is a big country. It took us like a day. So I arrived in Lusaka, Zambia at 10 p.m. in the evening. So in Zambia, I had a friend who hosted me. Sometimes I could just overrest. You know when you come from Kenya and you arrive in Zambia and I'm like, whoa, oh my God, I'm in Zambia. Because imagine, this was not planned. So it's like a shock for me also. So I'm checking at the map. I'm like, I cannot go back to Kenya. Zimbabwe is very close. Let me just, take a bus from Zambia, Lusaka to Zimbabwe. It's $20. But because you're going to Zimbabwe, they use American dollars. I paid $20 and we left at 8 a.m. We arrived in Harare at 11 p.m. I think the bus was kind of slow. It would have been quicker. And at the border, Zimbabwe is very strict, so they take time to check, can take up to like 2 hours, 3 hours, 2.5 hours to check the bus and the bags. In Zimbabwe, from the stage to the hotel, I paid another $20. That was a shock for me. It would have been less, $5 or maybe 10 if most, though I paid for it because he helped me look for the hotel that night because I didn't have a SIM card. I didn't have Zimbabwean currency or dollars in cash. I had to go and withdraw the following day. So this is how I survived. I got this taxi driver who was very nice to me. Taxi drivers came towards me and I was like, I'm calling somebody, I'm waiting for somebody. Then the third one came. I wasn't calling anybody. I was just feeling the energy. So I felt the energy of the third taxi driver was warm and very kind. So I went with him, and luckily he's the one who helped me get a hotel that night. He had a friend who had a hotel. The hotel was $40. So I just gave my passports and went to sleep and it was cold. I think in Zimbabwe is when now you start feeling the southern coldness because now we are on a different longitude. It was very cold. I think I got sick. I couldn't explore much of Zimbabwe. And food, I got some fast food for like $5 that night. 2 nights in Zimbabwe, Harare, I just went straight. I paid for a bus to Botswana. Harare to Botswana is $50, so they just take US dollars, or they can take Pula, Botswana Pula. I have a Botswana Pula currency here. This is 200. I think this is the biggest Botswana currency that they have. Before I continue, let me just show you the Zambian kwacha. Clear. And I have another Zambian kwacha here. That is pula. Oh yeah, this is pula. This is also Botswana pula. The 10. This is Kenyan shillings, 50. My country. This is Zambian kwacha, a little bit old, used, but this is how 50 looks like. This is another kwacha. This is 5 kwacha. This is how it looks like. Another kwacha that I have is 10 kwacha for Zambia. Very new, looks nice. I arrived in Botswana and it took 12 hours ride from Harare to Botswana, Gaborone. Now this is cold. Now this is when I arrived with my East African clothes and I have to, go to buy warm clothes for the southern parts, because imagine, like I said, it was not planned. I go and buy warm clothes in this Chinese supermarket. There's a lot of Chinese supermarkets in these African countries. They have these cheap clothes that can help you for a week. The ones I have still are very strong because I haven't worn them. I just used them there, then I came back and there's nothing I cannot wear them here. It's very warm here. I have those. I went to buy some clothes. At this point, I was already sick from the cold in Zimbabwe. Because remember, I arrived in Zimbabwe with East African clothes and the cold got into me. By the time I was figuring out how to go and get the money to buy warm clothes, I was already sick. Yeah, so if you're planning to travel to these countries, make sure you have some extra warm clothes for those other parts of the world. Yeah, that's a good advice. Gaborone, I stayed there for 5 days. The hotel was the hotel in Botswana was $30. I never used taxis. I only used taxi on the first day, but if I can ask somebody to explain to me like which one, like these town service vehicles are the best, you meet people, even though some people really don't talk much. So in Botswana, I stayed there for 5 days. After 5 days of being in Botswana, I went to Johannesburg. There's no way you can arrive in Gaborone and don't go to South Africa. I just want to be casual, like I said, no pressure. When I arrived in Botswana border, they asked me the location. Botswana, they just want to know you're going to be in there and you're going to be safe. If you have somebody there, it's an added point. As a content creator, we have viewers from all over the world, every country in the world. So I think having that contact, if you have somebody, it's also very nice. So you give them the location, then you get in. So I booked a vehicle to South Africa. A vehicle to South Africa costed me 900 pula. I just googled that and it's $65. That is like one of those big buses, because I just wanted to be safe and don't have a problem when I am crossing the borders. So I was using buses that are trusted, buses with a lot of security. I think sometimes it's not about the distance, sometimes it's about your crossing border to another country. Entering South Africa was the easiest. When he saw Kenyan passports, they know they give you a stamp with no questions. They just give you the date that you're supposed to leave the country. So in South Africa, entering there was no questions. Then I arrived in Johannesburg and my lovely mama there hosted me for a week. Actually, she contacted me when I was in Botswana. So guys, if somebody or some of our viewers are contacting you, never assume, like talk to them if it's not creepy. She texted me, I can host you, and I'm like, whoa. And you're entering a country that is known to be very big, very developed, nice. And like there's a lot of pressure compared to other African countries. Entering South Africa for me was not like entering Zambia. Zambia is like Kenya. But now you're entering this, it's like a big country, like the roads, the buildings are many, everything is different. It's just like America of Africa. That's how it's called. Johannesburg was very nice. The weather is now different. You start seeing these leaves are colored and I'm just like, wow. So from Kenya to South Africa, so unplanned. I used to make last minute decisions. As you can see, the amount of prices that were used for these trips, I see them like they were, no added, no. If you can go back and watch my videos, you can see all this. In Johannesburg, I didn't even use any Uber because my host took me around the first time. We went to Soweto. We didn't go to a bigger part of Soweto. I was just wanted to be there. But if I really had, I think, more time, I would have explored the real Soweto. It's beautiful. It's not a slum like we think. Like now I'm talking about, like, let's say Kibera slum. No, Soweto is just it's a big place with very nice buildings, and it's being built. I mean, it's different. There's a bit of slum here, metal houses, but also there's the beautiful sides of. It's just mixed. It's mixed, yeah. So the next day, of course, my mama was tired, so I had to explore Johannesburg alone. I did not even take an Uber. We did not plan for all of this, so I have to spend as little as I can. So I just used to take the public vehicles, go around, use the buildings. I used to use the Techno building. Is it Techno? Techno is in Zambia or in South Africa? No, not Techno. Absa. There's Absa building in Johannesburg. I used to use it to find my location. So I just walk around, then I look at Absa, then I know. From there, I'll go straight like this to Maboneng. Johannesburg, everybody tells you it's very risky. I remember everybody was just telling me, please be careful, be careful. Like the pressure of just being told, please be careful. It got to me, but then I was just still, I'm here, I have to do this. So if it happens, it happens. Like God planned it to happen like that. Nothing happened. I was just walking around the street, and there's a day, I think the 4th day, I left the house, and I didn't tell her where I was following. Then I followed the garage side. Those of you know, from there's this behind Maboneng on the lower end, there's this garage, very big garage side. So I followed those type sides, and I was told those are the most risky sides. That day I didn't get a public vehicle. I just wanted to walk around and hopefully maybe record a video, which did not happen that much because the camera mostly was inside. Yeah, but I have a video of South Africa that I haven't posted. I don't even know if it's relevant anymore. I look different now. It will confuse my viewers, but maybe I think I should post it. The video where I left Maboneng all the way to Pretoria, had lunch, visited the museum, then I came back alone in the evening without asking for direction. So I think I just believed in myself and did it. It will be like, it's not safe, but then other people are also walking around, you know. Johannesburg has many black people, so me as a black person, I think I just fit in. Very cold. I went there during winter. You're shaking like crazy, but I loved the cold. It's that cold that is there, but also there's a little sun out. Then I booked a vehicle to Capetown that costed me 1,200 just with Intercape. 1,200 rands. Capetown is far because Johannesburg is on the upper end. Capetown is now down towards the end of Africa. These 1,200 rands is Intercape buses, so they are more affordable buses that go to Capetown. One can pay less. You can pay as less as maybe 600, 8. I think the Nissans, they go. I arrived in Capetown and I went straight to Seafront. Seafront, when I'm traveling now, I'm looking for a booking. I'm in the bus. I arrived in Capetown is now when I'm looking for a hotel. It's called an unplanned traveling. So the first hotel that came was Mojo Hotel. It's very big for tourists. It's like a backpackers, but it's not a backpackers as well. Something like that. Then I went there and I was told the hotel it depends with the day of the week. Sometimes it goes to 500, sometimes it goes to 600 rands, sometimes it goes to 700 rands. So I was told there's a hotel for 680 rands, and I didn't know. I wish I knew that there were hotels of up to 250 or 300 rands in that place. They did not tell me. I only knew when I was now leaving, but the hotel was 680 rands, but I could see the Atlantic Ocean and the sunset. I think that's why it was more expensive, because it was on top and I could see the ocean. But if I knew that there were some down here that were like 250, 300, I would have been there for more than 2 weeks for real, because Cape Town is really beautiful. If you're watching to this point, please kindly like the video, comment, tell me, ask me anything, share to your friends who maybe want to travel and they want to see the prices. In Cape Town, I survived with cash. The nice, like the Mojo area, actually they didn't take cash, they only take card, and my card was a problem, so I just had to go to the supermarket and get the supermarket food, and it served me well. I didn't complain. I tried sushi for the first time. Sushi is good, even though I didn't know it's served cold, and it's very good with the sauce. You dip it in, use the chopsticks. Yeah, it was amazing. So today's video was just about the money thing, how much I spent, and I don't want the video always to be long. I hope it's not more than 20 minutes so that you guys can also go and watch other people. But before you go, please subscribe to African Sea Travels for more info like this. I came back, of course I came back through Namibia. So after like 7-8 days in Cape Town, I was so tired. But then the last 2 days I also had an issue with my way of transferring money from Kenyan account to Western Union, so I had to add 2 more days there in South Africa. Then I booked a vehicle. Now I think leaving South Africa, I think I almost cried. I think that's why people go to South Africa and they don't want to come back and they stay there illegally. It was really hard to leave Cape Town. I booked an Intercape bus from Cape Town to Windhoek, Namibia. We used to say Windhoek, but it's Windhoek. This one I paid also 1,200 rands. I remember when I was going to pay for Intercape bus, the ladies who were booking my tickets kind of shouted at me in a very weird manner. You cannot book a bus here. Let me not be dramatic. But they said, you cannot book, you overstayed. She didn't even look at the passport. I think many people overstay. I went to Windhoek, Namibia. I didn't want to stay much. I know myself. If I don't say, like now, I think in Namibia is the only one I said I want a transit visa. Just give me like 2 or 3 days, please, to rest. Then I move forward because I'm traveling. So getting the visa was not as difficult as just, you have to explain many things. Where are you going? Why this and that? Yeah, so it was a little bit easy for me. I arrived in Namibia. Namibia, I use rands, South African rands. It's the same, but I have their currency here. 30th independent anniversary. Wow. An amazing country. Namibian dollars. So Namibia, they use rands. Rands can be used in Namibia, but it cannot be used in South Africa. In Namibia, the hotel was $30 also. I think it was just $30 also. 35 if not more. Yeah, that was the hotel. I stayed in a place called Triple Z. It's also I just googled. When I arrive in a place, I just google on booking.com, then you find the hotel. You can call if you have the card, but of course when you're arriving in a new country, you still don't have the card. But some countries, they will sell it at the airport for you. Like in South Africa, it was easy. I just buy and you go. The line is working. In Kenya, you cannot do that. You have to go and register and do everything. Like they take your picture, your passport, everything. Because people can do things with those SIM cards. So I think South Africa, they have a way of, so long as the card is in your SIM, I think there's a way they can still make their ways to protect the country. From Namibia, I booked a vehicle that costed me 900 Namibian dollars or 900 rands. It's the same amount to Livingstone, because I wanted to see the Victoria Falls. I did that. I also did the bungee jump. For those who watch my videos, you guys can go and watch these videos. I did the bungee jump from being the most scared and shy and fear of heights, like, to now going to doing the bungee jump was just an amazing thing for me, an amazing experience, and I'm grateful for that. I went to the zoo safari of Zambia, something that I haven't even done in Kenya that I should do. Then from Zambia, Lusaka, I got sick. Now I was going to Malawi. I already paid for the bus ticket to Malawi. From Lusaka to capital of Malawi, Lilongwe, supposed to be like, I think 300 and something kwacha. But I was ripped off also by 100. I paid 400. Then I could not go because I didn't book the trusted buses. They normally leave very early in the morning. So by the time I was booking, it was around 11 a.m. in the morning. And the bus stood there for 2 more hours. So leaving Lusaka, to Lilongwe, I think I would have arrived at 8 or 9 or 10 or maybe midnight in Lilongwe. For some reason, I just didn't trust the bus. The bus also was not crossing over. They were just going to change me. I don't know. I still don't know why I did not go to Malawi. And I think at this point I was just tired. My mind mentally was just now tired. So I canceled. I left the bus, got out, and tried to book another one in the morning so that I leave early. I booked, paid, and went back home. The following morning, I woke up very sick. I took this KFC meal and I woke up very, very sick. I went to the bus station, cancelled, paid for a flight ticket from Lusaka to Nairobi that costed me almost 39,000 Kenya shillings. And money that I could have used to go to Malawi, spend maybe a few days there, go through Dodoma to Rwanda, to Burundi, to Tanzania, and get to Kenya by bus. Yeah, so that's how my journey ended from South Africa. It kind of hurt me. The decision I made to pay for a flight was a total waste of money. I think I would have just stayed in Lusaka for 2 more days to get well, postponed the bus tickets, and travel to Malawi. But during the flight time, I left Malawi with a kwacha at the airport. I was just like, I need some Malawi with me in my heart. There is 20 kwacha. Their currency is also kwacha. 200 kwacha. It's not similar. The value is not similar as Zambia. 50 kwacha. New with these safari vehicles. Very lovely. Botswana pool, I think I did show. It's very cute. South African rand. This is rand. So before I finish, I have the Zimbabwean dollars. Here it is. But this one is the old ones that they used to use before the currency was changed. The currency is changed now, though I tried getting it, but it's still not easy to get it on the streets. That is Zimbabwean dollars. Save the best for last. Another $220 billion for Zimbabwe. This was also a Zimbabwean money, Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, $100. It's Harare 2020. But of course, Zimbabwe, they use dollars, American dollars. So I kept one for me from Zimbabwe for memories. Yeah.